And Becky is Eric does roll call. Feel free to pull that up. We're good to go.
All right, great. I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order at 6:32. Again, thank you all so very much for the time here this evening. And as you can see, we have an action-packed agenda. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Heidel for our roll call. Eric, you're recognized.
All right, Dara, I've got you. Debbie? Justin Goldman, I think, said he would be a bit late. Mike Hyatt, I think I heard you, right?
Yes.
Olaf?
Yeah.
All right. Alice?
Yes.
Marino, I heard
Yes.
you. Russell? All right. Tom, I heard you.
Here.
Justin Lauer? All right. Hugo, I heard you.
Yes.
Dave, I heard you.
Yep, I'm here.
Mike Calloway?
Yes.
All right. Ed, I saw you. Lewis? Melissa?
I'm here.
Right. And Sean, I saw you.
I think Russell just joined, I believe.
Russell just joined, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Thanks, Dara.
Sorry, guys. Okay, I'll take a motion to adopt the agenda.
I would
I'll
like to
second
make
it.
a motion.
I'll
I don't
make
know
a
if
motion.
this is before you adopt or after. I would a motion to revisit the vote that we had in the October meeting about the play-up rule.
We're gonna
Sorry,
have to-
get a motion and a second to adopt first, and then it
Yeah.
will discussion.
Okay.
Make
got
a motion to adopt it.
Okay, so we have a motion by Mike Hyatt and a second by Marino. All right, any discussion on the adoption of the agenda?
I would like to revisit the vote that we had in the October meeting about the play-up rule.
Second.
I don't. We have a motion to adopt the agenda. I think Marino's the discussion is the discussion is bringing the discussion back from October onto the agenda. Is that correct, Marino?
Yes. I
Yeah.
got a second one. I just want to make sure that
Okay.
I just do it, one at a time, so there's no confusion.
Sure. Is there any other discussion with regards to the bringing the October discussion back to the agenda tonight? Mike Hyatt, you're recognized.
No, I'm good with that. I got one I'd like to add also.
Okay. Any other discussion surrounding the October discussion? Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye, adding that to the agenda.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the ayes have it. Mike Hyatt, you're recognized.
I got a second one, please.
Okay.
Go ahead, Marino.
I'd like to make a motion to include the playing up rule that Tom Tiana sent to everyone today, or yesterday or whenever.
Is that not the discussion? Is that not the October discussion, Marino?
No, the October was to reset to
Yeah, I'm
the
sorry.
vote
Yes,
on the October
thank
meeting,
you.
and this is to
Yep.
add to the agenda the play up rule that.
Thank you, Marino.
Yes.
And I believe Mike Hyatt seconded it. Do we have any discussion? Okay, hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the ayes have it. Mike Hyatt, you're recognized for an adoption.
Yeah, I had sent something to Ryan a week ago about it, and I see Tom Tanich is kind of going down the same road, so we both could probably handle that, but that's going, revisiting our rules and bylaws and how we go by them or whatever. And I'd like to kind of maybe do this in executive session, because I don't, there might be some some people that get brought out that I don't really think it needs to be public.
Second.
Any other discussion? Okay, hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I,
Any opposed?
For the two items under new business, before or after affiliate applications, just so I have it in the order.
Before, please.
Who seconded that last one related to the?
I did, Eric.
Okay.
Olaf
Thank
did,
you.
Eric.
I did the one before as well, but I don't know if that matters or not.
yeah, Olaf second, the one before that, not me.
Thank you for the clarification. Okay. Any other adoptions? Okay. Gonna move on.
No, you gotta do the vote.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Sorry. Okay, so now with the adoptions, is there a motion to accept the adopted agenda as adopted?
So move, Marino.
Thank you, Marino. Any other discussion?
Second,
Thank you, Mike. All right, any discussion? All right, hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I,
Any opposed? Okay, ayes have it. All right, the agenda has been adopted. Mr. Foley, do we have any guests?
I believe I saw a few appointed commissioners as well as myself.
Someone is at the office.
Shinoy, Eric, I'll help you out. You got Shinoy, Mike Shroka. I believe that's it.
Okay, thank you. And Mike and Shanoy, welcome. I will take, we have two sets of minutes here to approve.
Is Becky a guest or no?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Becky.
No, okay.
Becky
The staff,
Messina.
yeah, okay.
Yep. We have two sets of minutes here, so take a motion to approve the January 24th, 2026 meeting minutes.
So move, Marino.
Okay, you have a second.
Second.
Seconded by Tom Tianich. Any discussion regarding the January 24th, 2026 meeting minutes? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Hi,
Okay, who is the opposed?
it's Mike Calloway.
Mike Calloway is opposed. Okay, thank you, Mike. We have the March 1st, 2026 meeting minutes. Do we have a motion to approve?
So move, Marino.
Marino, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Tom Tianich. Thank you. Region A is on fire tonight. Is there any discussion surrounding the March 1st, 2026 meeting minutes? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
I,
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, Eric, just FYI, I did see a message from Jen DeTilio. It seems like she's on electronically there, so if you just want to put that in your notes there.
Thanks.
She would be a committee chair.
Yep.
And then correspondence. Eric, any correspondence?
No.
None. Or sorry, yeah, Eric. Okay. Reports. Administrative officer. So yeah, pretty much look, in light of this heavy agenda here, I'll be very brief. As you're all aware, constant communication, myself with Ryan, and involved in meetings with USYS, the Federation, and then just FSR stuff that's been going on surrounding our cups and events. So very, very busy, a lot of moving pieces. So trying to stay in tune and on top of all of that. And then of course now we're into Well, we're in our cup season, so there's plenty going on around the state. So I'll leave it at that for me. And then additional officers, Eric or Justin, you recognize? Eric,
I don't have anything.
thank you. Justin, Miss Alice,
No, not tonight.
thank you very much. Our CEO report, Ryan, you're recognized.
Thank you. Becky, if you could just scroll to the top of the program reports there. I'll try to keep it brief, just understanding that I put a lot of it in writing, but a few things that I think are worth calling out and to your attention. So, as Dara mentioned, been spending a lot of time on the U.S. soccer future state and pathways discussions, and ultimately what that means for us going forward. That started well before January, but has picked up the pace from the convention to the U.S. Soccer AGM in February, and then earlier this week was in Dallas for U.S. Youth Soccer member meetings. We're actively involved in conversations on a weekly basis with both the Federation and USYS, so our voice is heard. Given just how important it is and how honestly deep we can go on the topic, I'll put out an email and probably the week ahead to propose an in-person session for the board. Not a formal meeting, but more call it like a workshop or even a retreat if you want to. Call it late April, early May. Idea is to bring U.S. Soccer in and talk about their direction and vision, and also just give a full rounded picture on this topic. I think it relates to a lot of the discussions, and honestly, it's not something that we can cover in 2 to 3 hours via Zoom, and I think warrants a lot further discussion there. So I'll send an email out next week, propose a few dates, likely just do it at the office in Auburndale since we have that space already. Maybe try to align it with one of the Cups dates, but I also want to make sure that if we're there for Cups, we're not taking time away from the field when we need some of that support. So on the communication front, we kicked off a monthly club webinar series this week. The goal is just to have better, more direct communication with our clubs on topics that are important. There's a lot of things happening, a lot of information that needs to get distributed that sometimes email is just not the right medium. What we're doing a really good job of at the moment is showing up and aligning with some bigger opportunities. So you'll see that I highlighted collaborations with the Miami Host Committee on some community events. That's a great opportunity for us to be visible and implement local programming. We've been included on conversations around English Premier League's Morning Lives event, which is coming to Tampa in April. Again, that's a nice chance to connect our brand to a major event. And then on the coaching side, Don and Raul are working with the Scottish Federation on clinics around the Scotland and Brazil match in June. So again, a nice international piece there. Coaching education a little bit more broadly, they're being proactive, reaching out to clubs directly to set up grassroots courses, whether that's 9v9, 11v11, 4v4, 7v7. And that's a bit of a shift. I think in the past, we've waited for clubs to come to us with a desire to host a course, and we're being proactive in reaching out to them. We put an email out last week with an application to host. We had, I believe, somewhere around 8 or 9 dates through the summer, and we received 15 interested clubs that are looking to host courses. So that's a win there and having a positive impact.
Yeah.
This weekend is State Cup group play. We're expecting over 40 college coaches, and I believe it's about 1,500 players. So this is the initiative that was funded a few board meetings ago. Really great event and obviously a strong, affordable platform for player identification. Really big thanks to staff and Florida Soccer Schools for pulling that together in 2 months' time. And I know we're going to knock that out of the park this weekend. On the marketing side, I think to really highlight some of the big gains and jumps that we've had since this point last year, you can see the numbers, newsletter, open rates, just with 2 small tweaks on the way that we distribute it and how we brand it, are up 700%. Facebook impressions are up about 145%. Instagram, which is our bread and butter for the player population that we're serving, is up 465% with impressions, strong follower growth there. And last week we launched or relaunched in some ways TikTok. And we'll continue to build that out as a player-focused channel. A lot of that comes from the marketing investment that was made by the board back in January, I believe. ODP is moving into their event phase. They have friendlies in Georgia coming up. The Germany trip is still working through registrations. That's an area that I know the team and Olaf are still continuing to focus on. Player and coach registration overall, we're down about 1% versus forecast. We had forecasted a 5% drop from last year. We're at 6% currently. Recreation seems to be holding up a lot more of the competitive loss. But again, that's generally in line with forecast, and we don't expect that to change much since we're now out of the revenue collection phase anyway. On the risk management side, if you want to scroll to the bottom there, Becky, there's a bill waiting on the governor's signature that addresses some of the level 2 items that we've been working on. So I'll go into more detail on that during closed session. We'll expect to have guidance out to clubs next month, especially as we want to try to get ahead of the curve in any of the intended impacts. I think we know that those bills tend to get signed in the 11th hour, and we have a good idea of what's coming, regardless of it being signed either way. The last one is we've seen an uptick in things like bias incidents, spectator behavior, conduct toward referees. So alongside of discipline, we've been working with Michelle in our office, Michelle Acevedo in our office, to utilize USYS University courses that are built just for this. There's a sideline conduct course that has a $25 fee that we've assigned to some parents and coaches. There's recognizing bias courses in various categories, depending on the type of bias incident that we're using to try to curb some of the behavior that we're seeing alongside of the discipline that's there. So I'll pause here just on the program reports. Happy to take any questions from the programming side.
On those courses, if we tell a kid or a parent or whatever to take it, is there like a certificate afterward that they got to send to us? Okay.
Yep.
Good.
We've been filing those away, and then there's an Excel spreadsheet that we keep to track. So if they're call it repeat offender, we can take action and refer it to R&D or go further if we need to.
Has there been any pushback on people taking those?
Generally, no. We're selective in the types of incidents that we are offering that to. So there are some matters that cross the threshold and they're being reviewed to R&D, and there are other matters that there's accountability from a player and they're willing to say, yes, I did this, I will accept my suspension and a course and move on from there. So I think that's been working with Barry Whitland, that's been a more efficient way of dealing with some of these matters that don't necessarily escalate to a very strong threshold, and also understand that the person's taking accountability for their actions.
Hey, Ryan, I see a hand raised there in the chat. Mike Calloway has his hand up for a question.
Sure.
Hey, Ryan, in your programming, when you have the 3 finals coming up, statewide finals that are coming up at the state office, is there any way that you'll have a lot of coaches there that would be a good place to connect to get feedback or to disseminate information? Is that a thought in your process?
It can be. I think the population of coaches that attend versus the number of games that they also have to coach on any given weekend for that might be tough to connect on an administrative type topic. What I've pushed Raul and Don to also think about is if when we have some of these events, there's coaching education opportunities for professional development, like the continuing education side, not necessarily, hey, you're coming in, let's do a grassroots. But field availability and space becomes an issue at some point when we are still running, 11 fields at Lake Myrtle at some of the earlier rounds.
Thank you.
Yep.
I see Olaf's hand is up.
Yeah, I just had a quick question. I saw, can you scroll up just one paragraph right there? The not in good standing form will be open April 24th and close May 26th. Is there any reason why this form closes?
I think it's prescribed. There's like a Memorial Day date in the rules or bylaws. I don't remember which one.
It's in the rules. It's in the rules of the date of when it closes.
Yeah,
the closing is prescribed, but I think opening could be done earlier, so people who know that they have, for example, because if you're working with somebody, try to collect from them until the last possible date. perfect. That day is fine because that's the date you need. But if somebody's already told us in September, that's it, I'm not paying you, the more we can get out of the way now, the easier it is for clubs to not have to wait until April 20, whatever date it is. So if we can open it early, I think would be useful.
Yeah,
Okay.
how about May 23rd?
Oh, open it
What do you
on
mean?
May. Oh, for the
For
next
next year?
year.
Why would it be, why is that open and close date? That's what I'm trying to understand.
I can find out. I also think just from my general understanding, only 2 or 3 clubs utilize it. So I can look into whether or not there's a prescribed open date. All I know is there's a
Okay.
prescribed close date.
By rule, it's a date of close, it's not one by open.
I see Ed's hand up, Ryan.
Sure.
Have we mandated this? The USU Soccer's university course, is that something that's going to be mandated to these individuals?
So here's the approach. I'll use a referee, a low level referee gross mistreatment as an example. Is US Soccer has given us the ability to say, hey, rather than going through the entire discipline process, if there's acknowledgement by the player for their actions or coach, whoever it is in this matter, then offer them, I'll use the term plea deal, offer them the equivalent of a plea deal. I recognize I did wrong. I will take the prescribed suspension and a course, or right, that's the creative part. And if they say, yep, I'll take it, then it is, I guess in that case, it would be mandated, right? Because the alternative is, no, I don't want to take the prescribed suspension. I dispute the facts. It goes to R&D and they could face more severe suspensions, right?
Thank you, Ryan. I love that idea.
Thanks. I can tell you there's probably 25 incidents every Monday morning. And if we can even knock out 10 of them through that method, it's going to save a lot of us time and accomplish the same thing. So.
Ryan, do you like that course? Do you think it's adequate?
If we were drafting it, we probably would have done some things different, but there's also an element of if somebody else put in the work and it's 90% of the way there, it's probably fine. If we want to develop our own courses, we do have an agreement with eTrainU as the university provider. We have our own agreement with them and we can author courses at any time.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep. See Mike Calloway's hand still up. Mike did you have something else?
I did not, Ryan. Sorry about that.
Yep, no worries. All right. If nothing else in the program reports, very quickly jump to the budget. Let me just get back to my notes here. So finances, you've got the balance sheet and the P&L. Revenue's up compared to this point last year. That's largely because we've collected registration fees in advance. We're not chasing fees anymore. So there's that pre-bill process, which is why you're going to see all that revenue front-loaded. Really from here on out, it's expenses. Most of our revenue for the year has been collected as team entry fees and everything of those sorts are largely in. That will show negative cash flows from here through the remainder of the seasonal year until we start to get income for the next seasonal year. But that's all par for the course. Questions on the financials? Cool. Last one, ODP. If you want to scroll down 2 or 3 pages, Don submitted a report. He's come in and I think gotten up to speed really quickly thanks to Raul and Aubrey, who have been briefing him on the program operations. He's focused on increasing participation numbers next year, overall program activity and structure. And there's some pieces that I've tasked him with just to identify where we've had cost overruns. And we can improve the operational efficiency of that program and improve the program's identity generally. Definitely not tonight, but I'd love to have Don come to a meeting and just present to the board directly for 15, 20 minutes on where he sees the program going. Dara, I know you had the opportunity to speak to him this week and understand more of his vision and observations, but he wanted to put it in writing for the board this go around. Any additional questions on my reports before we keep moving? All right, Dara, that's all I got.
All right, Rebecca, would you mind throwing the agenda back up there? I didn't have it memorized. Okay, financial, so ECO. Standing committees, I see, Jennifer, can you hear us? You're recognized there if you want to give us an update. I know you had a pretty busy couple weeks there with Tops.
I'm going to talk for her. She had to step out for a minute.
Okay,
So-
go ahead, David.
All right, they had a great event with the Rowdies. Sorry, and had a request to hold a soccer around the world at Mako, a club. And on April 19th, she's going to be attending an event at the Tampa Zoo for autism awareness. So she's been really doing a lot. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, when she comes back in, I'm sure, tell her thank you, and we're grateful for everything she's doing with the program.
Okay. I will do that.
Thank you, Dave. Unfinished business, show none. New business, accounting RFP. Mr. Foley, back to you.
You might have people with their hands up, lower their hands.
Yeah, I'll lower their hands.
I saw Ed and Mike Calloway. I mean, those were from the previous presentation, I assumed.
Right, yeah.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate you, bud.
Good.
Hey,
One more. Accounting
always
RFP.
here.
I'll try to keep some of these. I think are
Anything will make-
self-explanatory, and that's why I sent it out last week. Need improvement on accounting services that are provided, which is the reason for the request. They're not new services; they're services we should already be receiving from a current provider. Plain and simple, those the delivery of those services just need to improve, and that's why we request an RFP.
You need a motion?
Yes, sir.
Motion to request an RFP for the county.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Marino and a second by Tom Tianich. Do we have any discussion regarding the accounting RFP?
I do.
Eric, you're recognized.
So I don't object to releasing the RFP and let's see where it goes, but I do think we should talk about, we recently removed some things from our finance point of contact in the office, right? With Insperity coming on and payroll being offboarded. So I sort of wonder whether we need to outsource this support or not. So I think we should see what it costs and then maybe make a decision about that.
Okay, that's totally fair.
Thank you, Eric. Any other discussion?
I guess my question is, who does this work now? Are we replacing a staff member? Are we replacing another accountant, a company that we're currently using? How exactly is this?
Yes, and I'll speak as much as is comfortable in this session. There is a current provider that we use, a current accounting firm that we use, and we have submitted questions for months without response. We've even reached the point of withholding payment, and we're now to the point of needing assistance in some of these areas.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ryan. Any other discussion? Okay, hearing none. All in favor of sourcing or getting estimates for an accounting RFP, signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, the motion passes. Ryan, you may proceed.
Yep, Becky, the next one here. So the AGM has previously been labeled, I believe, as the workshops in AGM or AGM and workshops. Just as we talked to the partners of the event, FSR, Florida Soccer Schools, obviously us, we're looking to just increase the brand from workshops to Youth Soccer Summit to make it a little bit more inclusive, a little bit more attractive, and just increase the general presence of the event. So you can see it has its own logo. Obviously, the AGM still takes place Sunday. That maintains its own logo and identity, not changing anything about that. But this just increases the presence of the actual workshops and things that are happening mostly on Saturday compared to the Sunday meeting to hopefully draw in additional individuals to come and attend those for feedback sessions and everything else. You'll also notice we put together a tentative schedule, which moves the board meeting to Friday evening. And that's based on feedback from 2 items that we got in that survey from September, I believe, August or September. One just reduces the need for travel on Thursday and related hotel costs. It saves us one night for a good deal of people if you don't need to be there until Friday evening. And the other part of the feedback was it reduces the need for people to take off from work, their paying jobs, on Thursday, and can consolidate down to one day on Friday. And doing this also gives the opportunity to enjoy a nice working dinner as the last time that this board would meet for the year before the AGM. The Hall of Fame dinner is traditionally Friday, and I know that that's also very tightly attended. So our recommendation is to move that to a reception style event with drink tickets and past hors d'oeuvres right before the main gala, basically consolidating those 2 events and making it a little larger. We do need to set a fee. So this fee would be for regular attendees. It used to be $120 for early and I think $180 or $190 for regular/late. The recommendation, just looking at the numbers of who bought what ticket when, is just have one single fee, split it down the middle, and be $150 per attendee to keep our accounting simple, and also keep the forecasting simple on it. We would need a motion for the fee here.
Do we have a motion for the fee based on what Ryan has posted here?
So move, Marina.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second and all discussion.
I heard Debbie before I heard you, Mr. Tanich. So Debbie, thank you. I'm going to open the floor for discussion, and Mr. Tanich, I'll recognize you.
Is there 150? First of all, Debbie, if Debbie's on a call, then make sure that she's marked as attending, because I know she wasn't here in the beginning.
She did announce. Thank you, Tom.
Okay. And second thing is this 150, is there a different price structure for 150 plus dinner included plus something else included? Are we only voting for the 150?
This is just the 150. The dinner, board members aside, there would be a separate dinner price. Let me say it this way, we were losing a lot of money on the dinner, and there'll be an exercise to grow the dinner to help us offset some of the AGM expenses. So inviting champion teams, ODP, there'll be reduced rates for players because their meals are not, the same, short rib that we received, but the dinner would be its own price. Board members, obviously, and their significant others would receive comp tickets in that structure.
And I don't know if it's part of the same discussion, but in regards to the not having to come on Thursday for board members for the early morning dinner, do we not have a minimum number of rooms we have to book anyway with a hotel?
Thursday, it's spread across the entire event. We don't anticipate having an issue by not being there Thursday.
Okay.
Marino, you're recognized.
On that thing about the dinner, so the War Gala, they will have to buy a separate ticket?
Not the board of directors, no.
No, but okay, so they register for 150 and then they got to pay for the dinner for the War Gala to attend?
Yes. The fee is probably, I believe last year we added $100 to so you had 4 fees total. 120 regular early, so just 120 attendee early, 180 or 190 attendee
living dinner
regular, and then you had 190 for the dinner, like 190 early for dinner and regular attendance, and then it was two something for a regular attendance plus dinner. That's causing us to lose a significant amount of money. So the dinner structure is just changing to help us not quite literally not lose close to $100,000. That's the idea.
Okay, and cutting down the Friday the Thursday to Friday for us, the board of directors.
Mhm.
But aren't we also cutting a lot of the stuff that we did Friday for the members? I mean, everything can be done in one day, and then we increasing the price, and then we giving them less days or less time. That's what I'm
Yeah.
trying to get at.
I think the Friday sessions still exist. There was some coach educator, some ODP staff stuff. There was a referee assigner session, but from what I experienced Friday, we sat in a board meeting until almost four o'clock. So the idea is to consolidate most of those workshops to Saturday. International Coaching Symposium may have some items on Friday, but that I think is separate from what we're doing anyway.
Yeah, no, I wasn't talking about us participating in the, we got a meeting to go, we go to a meeting, whatever, that's our job. But for the members that are going, so they're going to pay 150 just for one day, basically everything crammed into one day.
Yes, plus the Sunday meeting.
Okay.
Yeah. Ideally, this should be a free event, but the way that it's operating at the moment, we would lose a significant amount of money.
I don't know that we were there till 4 o'clock for the board meeting, but let's assume we were there until 2 o'clock. If we started at 9 and went until 2, but now we say we won't even start until 5 and expect to have dinner, how are we going to get any governance done on that meeting?
I think the idea is not in good standing would be moved to a sooner meeting than the Friday. So what took us very long on that Friday was the not in good standing votes. And we're looking, given the not in good standing forms close Memorial Day, we would just do that at a sooner meeting to save 2 hours.
Ed Kinsey, I see your hand up. You're recognized.
When you say losing money, this is a big expenditure for us. So in other words, we're never going to break even, correct?
Not without major overhaul.
Right.
Right now, we can see it probably in the budget later on, but I believe it's got $200,000 worth of expenses. So.
Mike Schroeder, you're recognized.
I just wanted to clarify one thing that you'd said. So you're submitting that the ticket for the dinner is $100 additional. So people are paying $100 to go to that event, essentially?
Correct. For players that would be invited to attend, their meal is not the short rib, so they would pay a reduced fee, which is probably about half, 55.
Do you think by going to 70 to 100, you're going to lose attendance and then end up in the same place?
Sorry, say that one more time.
If by changing it from $70 to $100 to go to the dinner, do you think you're going to affect the amount of people that go and then end up still making with the same amount of revenue based on lower participation?
The invite list, I believe, will grow. So traditionally, it's just been the of the year awards and essentially AGM attendees. This sees the event expanding by inviting cup champions and their teams and honoring them in a different way, inviting ODP players and their families. Again, the event attendance will grow, so we don't anticipate this being a loser.
Olaf, you're recognized.
Yeah, so I can understand that. I mean, we discussed this, I think, in August, or we brought it up at the end of the board meeting that followed the AGM there, that we need to take a hard look at how we run the AGM, possibly even the date in general. However, with that being said, we've been, since I got on this board, it's always been about money, everything. We can't do this, we can't do this, and we have to save money, we can't go lose anything. At the end of the day, we saw the budget. I mean, there is money that is actually working at the moment, and at some point, I think we have to identify maybe some areas that are worth investing for us, and this is the only event where we get our membership to come together. and very soon our membership possibly could look different. Maybe it is one of the last AGMs that we will ever have. At least in that the way that we're looking at it right now with where we were competition driven primarily, or membership was competition driven. When that goes away, there's a difference there. So it's just maybe occasionally we maybe need to look at what can we deliver. And even if it costs us something, I mean, at the end of the day, the money that is accumulated at the moment comes from the membership as well, right?
Yeah. I think it might have even been you that said it at the meeting immediately following the AGM that, the weekend may not have been good for soccer. And I'm paraphrasing the comment. And I think the idea here is to build an event, Youth Soccer Summit, that increases the positive and the good that happens on the weekend. And by doing that and increasing the gala, that will, I believe, meet that goal. This is step one to redesigning the AGM. I think we really have to look at the structure. But when we're taking a $50 per person bath on an awards gala ticket, I think we just have to be a little bit smarter about how we're spending our money, regardless of our net assets that are there.
Justin Goldman, I see you had, so I'm going to go Justin Marino, Mike Hyatt, and then I see Ed. So forgive me if I get the order wrong.
Yeah, I'm
so
trying
Justin
to get it to
Goldman.
work. Yeah, can you hear me now?
Oh,
yeah.
Justin Lauer. I thought it was Justin Goldman.
Oh, I'm
sorry, Justin.
No, you're fine.
Recognized. How are you, buddy?
Sure. Yeah, my comments are about trying to find a lower cost dinner that's better with the price, and it'll at least try to break even or give some value to the members, because the AGM again is one of the times when the group comes together, and I think we need to maybe invest a little bit, but if price is an option, let's take a harder look at the menu and find something at a lower price point or have some negotiations with the property.
Yeah, I think we did do some negotiations. We're having steak for chicken price, if that makes sense.
Okay, I mean, that's a good start.
Yeah. I think the reality is a hotel and their fees are so different than if you go to a local banquet hall, and just the nature of being in a property that size makes this event as expensive as it is.
Marino, you're recognized.
Ryan, what you said about bringing the teams in, we used to do it all the time, except, I don't know, since COVID, and never went picked up again. Now, we used to give them a hotel night to all the players. When you mentioned, we've been lucky enough in Florida to have multiple teams win at a time. Have you looked at how many, the cost that it will get to get hotel rooms? And then, so these players are not getting, they don't have to buy the dinner ticket. They're invited. Is that what I understood?
So this would be, I'll use an example of, take Commissioner's Cup statewide finals. The 14U girls team, that's the champion, would be invited to the dinner on, is it August 1st? Yeah, August 1st. They would have the option of purchasing team tickets, player tickets. I'll use round numbers, so let's say $50. Parent ticket is, call it $100. If they would like to stay in a hotel, we have the preferred rates through Renaissance SeaWorld that they would be able to do, or alternatively, they can find another hotel if they choose to stay in a hotel overnight. And what we'd also look to do in that case is work with a SeaWorld to provide them a discounted access to the park experience and everything else that they're there, so they're not just coming in for one event, but they can actually do something and get some type of benefit out of it.
Okay, so maybe I understood it wrong, but so you're talking about the winners of Commissioner's Cup, President's Cup, and State Cup in our state events, not the national champions or anything like that.
We can. The timing's probably very tight, but we can if we get lucky to have champions there.
Okay, that's a lot of teams.
Yes. Mike Hyatt, you're recognized.
Yeah, I've always looked at the AGM as, because I've been to 26 of them, I believe. I've always looked at the AGM as being a celebration of youth soccer in Florida. You know, we go through all, you know, and it's just not us on the board, but all the clubs. We go through all the parent hassles and all that good stuff. And it's just a good way to, and I think somebody had brought it up earlier that, you know, it's a good way for a club, you know, with a suggestion, or they could see face to face who they're dealing with, meet with them, talk with them, whatever. Now, I do feel like that we need to move the AGM earlier in the year to give clubs whatever changes we make, you know, give them ample time to adjust their schedules or whatnot for this going on. But I really feel strongly with the AGM being I hate, I don't want it to skimp is what I'm trying to spit out there, I think.
Sure.
Thank you, Mike.
I know we have the motion on the fee. I don't know if there's anybody else seeking to take the floor, but we do have a packed agenda, so I want to be careful of continuing to rear our head here.
Do we have any other discussion regarding the motion that is on the floor? Okay, hearing none, there is a motion and second to set the fee for the 2026 Youth Soccer Summit at $150 per attendee. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed?
I
Aye.
I got two opposed. I got Mike Hyatt and Justin, I got Mike Hyatt and Justin Lauer. Okay. The ayes have it.
Next one, tournament rule. Becky, if you're good to scroll. So I'll introduce it as it's coming up. I know we traded some emails on this topic. So I wrote this proposal and shared it with the registration committee for review. I continue to see issues and experience issues firsthand with how outdated the rule has become. It consolidates the process, or this is intended to consolidate the process and reflect what's really happening in practice. It relies a lot on the tournament hosting agreement to dictate the terms like requirements and fines and sanctions, because that's the legal binding document that continues to come up when we're having claims involving tournaments. So that hosting agreement will ultimately be reviewed by our counsel to beef it up to help us defend claims, and that's the premise for the change. I know there was feedback solicited from staff in the past on this one, and maybe we just didn't get there in time. I do think this is becoming more and more urgent as issues come up. The one notable addition, Becky, if you want to scroll to, I believe it's on the second page or starts going the second page here. 900.19 and 0.110. Is a new addition that gives us some flexibility to require additional insurance coverage by the host organization, with the design to help us address some of the growing liability claims that we have, and have them offer defenses. So rather than us becoming a primary insurer from some tournaments that have high loss runs, we can require, based on our own discretion and decision, to have them go purchase their own primary insurance policy for the event, and we can become the secondary, or if they have a primary, they would purchase a secondary and we become the tertiary. Most of our claims arise from tournaments, and just looking to protect ourselves a little further and give us some leeway in this rewrite. We would need a motion to move this forward.
Motion to approve the new 900 rule.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Sean Acosta, I beat you, Russell. Okay, we have a motion and a second. I'm going to open the floor for discussion.
I'd like to raise my hand.
Ed, your hand's not raised, but you're recognized.
Thank you. Ryan, what are the amount of claims that we're talking about? Give us a number And are they field related injuries, I assume?
I would be careful not to disclose a number in open session. I think I alluded to some of them in closed session on one of the exhibits. It is a high number compared to other states. They're mostly liability cases or claims that range from fields to operational concerns to referees. And FYSA, I think, as a catch-all, gets named just by the nature of our work, whether or not we own, operate, or control those tournaments.
I'd like to also point out a while back, we used to require a referee's report, a supplement stating the player's injury or the player was injured as part of the insurance claim. And we have gotten away from that. Have we not, Ryan?
When there's a claim that arises, we have to get something anyway, whether it's written after the game. In some instances, yes. In some instances, we're chasing the referee. But we do have to produce it as a part of the claims process.
Thank you.
Mike.
Yep.
Mike Hyatt, you're recognized.
Yes, Ryan, I appreciate you doing this because I know when we were rewriting the bylaws and rules, we tried to get with people there in the office to give us an update, what they would like to see the tournament rules to be, and we really didn't get much input back. So I appreciate you doing that, and yeah, I'm wholeheartedly behind it. So
Thank you, Mike. Justin Lauer, you're recognized.
Yes, I want to make a motion to move this to executive session to get answers to some of the questions that have been raised so people can vote appropriately.
Okay, we have a motion to take this down to executive session.
I'll
We have a
second it.
Ed Kinsey seconds. Any discussion?
Point of clarification.
Who's is it?
Mike
Mike
Soroka.
Soroka? Hey, Mike,
Yeah.
you're recognized.
So the way I'm reading this is a tournament that's less than 100 teams pays $250 to FYSA, and in exchange they get full coverage of the insurance policy.
Hey, Mike,
currently.
Mike, I gotta stop you. We have a motion on the floor to move this into executive session. I'm sorry. I thought you're.
I know. I tried to slide it in there.
I see that.
Yeah.
It's all good. I'm not trying to shut you down on purpose. Just trying to keep this thing moving. Justin
can I make a
Goldman, you're
point, though?
recognized.
So
Yeah, I mean, I don't think this needs to go to executive session. Do we really need figures to figure out whether or not we want to be liable for anything?
Okay, Olaf,
Mike,
you're.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, just to, since there's a motion to move this into executive session, which would exclude certain people that are currently on the call, including Mike, who just wanted to make a mentioning.
Yeah.
So I mean, can we include his comments into the discussion that is followed by the motion to move this into the executive session?
I mean, yeah, we have a motion. We have a motion to move this into an executive session. His question wasn't regarding the question wasn't regarding the discussion moving this into executive session. So he came in after Justin's motion. So
I appreciate the support, Olaf, but Dara's right.
Yeah. Marino, you're recognized. Oh,
So what happened to the original motion that I made to approve this?
This is a subsidiary motion.
Yeah, we have a motion to move this into executive session, Marino. Nobody's saying this is not going to be. So once the discussion is finished, we'll vote on whether this needs to go to executive session. If that is the case, then we take this in executive session. And if not, then we're back to square one where you made the motion.
Okay.
Any
Just
other
wanted a
discussion?
clarification.
Thank you, Marino. Any other discussion of moving this to executive session? Okay, hearing none. All in favor of bringing this into executive session as motion and second, please signify by saying aye.
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 And opposed.
Nay.
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 It's
Nay.
pretty, Eric, would you mind doing a roll call vote, please? Sorry, guys, I hate to drag it on, but I want it to be right.
No problem. Debbie?
Nay.
I'm a nay. Justin Goldman?
That was a nay for me.
Okay. Mike Hyatt?
I'm a yes.
All right. Olaf?
Nay.
That was a nay, correct?
Yes, that's
Okay,
correct.
thank you, sorry. Alice?
Nay.
Marino?
Nay.
Russell?
Negative.
Tom?
Nay, sorry, I was muted. Nay.
No problem. Justin Lauer?
Aye.
Okay. Hugo?
Aye.
Monsa?
Nay.
Dave?
Nay.
Mike? Callaway? Mike, you might be muted.
Sorry about that, Eric. If by voting nay, that means that we're not going to move it to executive session,
Correct. We'll return to the motion in our public session.
but there's some things in executive session that we have to, I would agree that it needs to go to executive session because we have other things that might affect insurance costs.
Okay, so I'll have you down as a yay. Ed?
Yes.
Lewis?
Nay.
Melissa?
Nay.
Sean?
Nay.
All right, so the vote is 5-13. The nays have it.
Okay, thank you. So we're back to the original motion, and Mike Soroka, you are now recognized for your question.
Thank you, sir.
Yep.
So I'm actually in support of what Ryan's trying to do here based on this $250. And then what's the cost to FYSA to insure this? Seems like that would be a big net loss.
If there's a claim,
and then there's a claim.
if there's a claim, it is a significant, it is more than $250. If there is no claim, it's a part of our regular general liability and participant access policies, which are paid for through member fees.
So what percentage of the tournaments are having claims now?
Percentage of
Yes,
total
ballpark.
tournaments. Yeah.
It's
Percentage
a net
of total
loss at the end of the
tournament-
day, though, isn't it? It's a net loss at the end of the day with the number of tournaments that are having
Correct.
claims
Yeah.
now.
Correct.
So the fees absolutely should be raised and substantially. Well, I mean, covering the primary insurance, they should have been covering their primary insurance from day one, right? So that's the question and my opinion.
Thank you, Mike. And I'm glad we got to come back to you. Justin Lauer, is your hand back up again, or is that a?
Yeah, it's back up again for a comment, so I'll say it in public session. Since you didn't want executive session, that's fine. But again, this is going to be another reason why people bail out of FYSA and go to US Club Soccer. The last I checked, those members could sanction tournaments for free. So again, you're charging people more money potentially for a service they can get free from a competitor. They're lobbying to have entire clubs register competitive players to US Club Soccer, and this will be part of their marketing plan. So just want to put that out there, and it is public now since executive session was denied. Thank you.
Thank you, Justin. Tom Tianich, you're recognized.
Dara, if I may, I think just on
yep. Sorry, go ahead, Eric. Or
on
Ryan,
the
sorry.
fees. Yeah, so I believe the $250 is the current fee that's charged with an application to host. The increased tiered structure matches that of other state associations. And there's a conversation generally with the Federation on sanctioning a little bit more broadly.
Thank you. I lost my train of thought. I think I was going to Tom Tianich. Tom Tianich, you're recognized.
Yeah, you were going to me. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I am good with these raised fees. I don't think they will cover all of our financial losses due to lawsuits anyway. I just want to make sure that we are really good about this 900 1.9 and 900 1.10, because I don't know who makes the decision and which tournaments are responsible for getting their own insurance. and listen, anybody can get sued for anything. And we know that a lot of them are just, fraudulent lawsuits because those happen. But if it's, even looking back, if it's a repeat offender, if it's a tournament that continues to have the same issues, I think we need to start looking at them having to buy that insurance anyway. When I enter my teams into tournaments, I'll be honest with you, very rarely do I know if it's a FISA sanctioned tournament or if it's some other associated governing body sanctioned tournament. I want to go where the teams are that I want to play. I don't think that's necessarily going to cost us registrations, right? Because we're going to go to a tournament, and if tournaments are already losing us money anyway, what's the big deal about sanctioning tournaments? I mean, we already have. I think there was a document circulated by Ed, I believe. Stop the tournaments, no more tournaments, too many tournaments, and there are way too many tournaments. So I don't think we have to worry about tournaments going away. I would just say if this helps offset a little bit, and if it really helps us even just save getting sued, it's probably for the better.
Thank you, Tom. Justin Goldman, you're recognized. Then I see Eric Heidel after that.
Yeah, I mean, my thoughts were just basically echoing Tom. Also thinking about the amount of work that the office staff does with these tournaments. We're losing on both sides. So I mean, I don't think it's going to harm us if we say, hey, we're going to raise these fees and we're out of the tournament business at all.
I do think.
Thank you, Justin.
Yeah, I do think on the fee side, this is intended to be a member benefit. And I know we have our own affiliation fees that members pay, and that contributes to it. Affiliate and sanctioning is now one category, as you'll see in the reforecast. So I do think we understand it's not supposed to be a profit center. It's supposed to be a member benefit. And at the same time, we're trying to reduce our overall risk.
Eric Heidel, you're recognized.
I mean, I think this is an area where we need to talk about who on the board has a conflict of interest and receives some financial benefit from running, administering, hosting, whatever, a tournament, because there are certainly people on this board that do. And I think they need to make sure they're abstaining from this vote.
Thank you, Eric. Olaf, you're recognized.
Yeah, just look, I think there's a cost for us, and the problem that I see is the tournament landscape in general, right? As it was just mentioned, I think by Tom, and the only way for us to influence it is if we create better competition calendars or have an input and influence on there. Now with this, any fee that we raise, let's not kid ourselves. It's not the tournaments that are paying it; it's the parents that are attending the tournaments, because that cost is just going to be passed on to the teams participating, just like the $20 GOT Sport fee that now is charged separately to the tournament fees to the clubs. So if we want to change something, I think we have to dig a little bit deeper.
Thank you, Olaf. Marino, you're recognized.
Ryan, this is more a clarification for, in the past, I guess, I don't know if it's still in effect. Even if it's sanctioned by whoever, any other organization, it's an open tournament, so anybody can participate. Our players still go with an FYSA card and play in those tournaments. Can the claim still can come to FYSA even if it's not sanctioned by us, correct?
It could, yes. It would be easier to defend in that regard.
Right. So U.S. Club can host it, it can affiliate it or whatever, but we know they're not going to be able to serve anything. So they're going to come back to us, try to get money from us. It's just, like you said, a better way of us defending ourselves that it was a not sanctioned tournament, so we shouldn't be liable for it. So if they want to go somewhere else, be my guest. Let tournaments be U.S. Club's tournament.
Yes, I do think the U.S. Club also offers different levels of protection. We're providing more protection to tournaments.
They do charge as well, by the way.
Yeah, we
not
provide
free.
greater protection, I believe, than they do, and maybe that's to our fault. I don't want to say we shouldn't insure, because I do believe there's a benefit, and that's why we exist. But I do think we need to appropriately manage our risk.
Thank you. Mike Schroeder, you're recognized. Then I have Ed and Lewis. Go ahead, Mike, you're recognized.
Hi, and I recognize that I am using my second of two opportunities to speak per parliamentary rules. So I just looked it up on the U.S. Club website, and maybe Justin Bauer knows something I don't. But Ryan, you're right. U.S. Club offers supplemental insurance. when sanctioning tournaments, not primary insurance. So that's a big difference. So their fee currently is $100. If they're going to switch it to zero, fine. But the supplemental insurance part of it is a huge cost that they're going to, for an individual event, that they're going to have to take on, whoever's hosting the tournament. So I would submit that it's probably cheaper to, even if you raise the fees, to go with sanctioning under FYSA.
Thank you, Mike. Ed Kinsey, Ed, you're recognized.
The denying of the sanctioning of a tournament, would that come before the board for a vote of denial? Ryan, this is a two-part.
Yeah,
my tournament committee.
There's no tournament committee that's been defined, and I think this is part of what it's trying to clean up. My guess is that if the decision was made, it could be appealed through the protests and appeals process like any other decision of FYSA.
So the second part of this is, if adding another 100 teams, 199 teams in the second part where we raise it to 350, wouldn't it be more beneficial if we said it would be $20 per team after 100, doable, payable after the known teams are known to the tournament? They would have to report how many they have gotten into the tournament, and then that amount would be due to us. So we would be raising it by $20 per team rather than a set price of. That would be a motion. I want to put that out as food for thought, but I just think that's somewhere, we need to go there. Okay.
Yeah. What I would say from an admin standpoint is it might be easier to collect and credit. So maybe these thresholds aren't perfect. And this is a start. We're also coming up in the AGM in how many months where somebody can propose a revision there too, if this were to pass. But I do think collecting at the forefront is easier. And if somebody doesn't meet a threshold, we can say, here's a portion back.
Okay.
That would be my 2 cents on it.
Yeah, a credit, correct. Okay.
Yep.
Lewis, you're recognized.
Just kind of wanted to go on what Shiroka was saying, that might be cheaper going our route anyway. For example, we use a tournament company to run our tournaments up in the Panhandle, and we get a supplement insurance at $750 to cover all those that are not covered, I think, under US Club or vice versa. I don't remember how they do it, but the tournament company and my club just pays for the supplemental insurance. So
thank you, Lewis. Eric, any rebuttal on Lewis, or are we good to move on?
No, I was speaking specifically to individuals that receive direct compensation, not folks associated with clubs who might receive it, that are
Perfect.
nonprofit tax exempt organizations.
Excellent. Mr. Tianich, you're recognized.
Being that this takes multiple page 900 into a 2-pager, I'll say, and that, like Ryan just said, this can be amended if we find that there's any other issues in August, I would like to call the vote.
Okay, we have a motion to call. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right, Sean Acosta. Okay, all in favor of calling the vote, signify by saying aye.
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 Okay.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, all in favor of the motion on the floor?
Aye.
Eric?
Aye.
You stop. Wait.
Aye.
Sorry, my AirPods died on me. Any opposed? Okay, hearing none, then the motion passes.
Okay, budget reforecast. Becky, if you're okay to scroll, if you're still with us. All right. Budget reforecast. So I don't know if the board's gone through a reforecast process. Just high level, it's used to provide a more clear and accurate picture of financials when there's major programming impacts that take place. We had that happen in many cases between the time that this was approved, I believe last May, and now. A lot of that comes from National League structure, restructure of the national championships, President's Cup going to national qualifiers instead of larger regional events. That impacted a lot of the budget. There were also programming changes and elements of coaching education, ODP, and others that changed as well. So I've spent nearly 6 months going through every class, every account, almost every transaction to understand the history of our budget and expenses, where things are needed, going up, going down, where there are cost overruns. And I believe that this gives us a more clear picture to date. I don't want to go line by line, but there are a few things that I think are worth highlighting for the board to know that I uncovered during this process. So I identified inconsistencies in how revenue is being deferred between different programs. And what that means is if you collect expenses for the current seasonal year, sometimes you're going to actually get that income early. And you need to carry it over into the current seasonal year so it matches with the expenses that you're incurring. And it seems that there were intentional decisions to leave revenue in a previous year to boost certain line items and profit, and then just continue doing that year over year. And I think we found this year, for example, grassroots and de-license income that was not deferred. There was a few instances of that here, and we've made those corrections going forward. But consistent deferral practices is one that is worth highlighting and saying that's changing moving forward. And we've had that conversation internally amongst the staff. Structural changes, Becky, if you want to scroll down there. We've also separated leagues and cups into two separate classes. They're previously together in ironically, a tournament and travel category. They're now separated out so we can easily understand the budget impact of those categories. It makes it more predictable to forecast and improves transparency just in how we're evaluating our programs. We also created a dedicated top class for registration and then broke it out with subclasses for competitive, recreation, referees, and then the affiliate and sanctioning class. Registration is the largest revenue category, so that helps us really understand what's going into it and coming out of it, rather than just leaving it in a general admin class that it gets really muddy when you're taking out, all of the capital expenses for the building and rent agreements and everything else, right? Put it on its own. It helps us see truly what's tied in there and what's not. So those were structural changes. No increase to revenue on that, but just changing the structure of our budget so it's easier to understand and forecast moving forward. Questions on that piece so far? Otherwise, I'll jump into a high-level revenue and expense overview. Okay. Revenue. This forecasts about 5.3 million in total revenue for the fiscal year. That is a favorable variance that goes up about a point and a half compared to the original budget. You'll see that membership income changed by about $500,000. That comes down by 14%, and that's because we overprojected in coaching education. There was some underperformance in ODP, which we detailed in the fall after tryouts, right? And there were corrections to revenue that had been double counted across programs. This was a big one. When I say we tie a lot of things to player and coach registration, we were then saying, okay, I'm going to use a random example. I'm not saying that this is the case. Let's take $2 per player and put it to bucks. We're then putting, call it $100,000 in income for bucks. But that $100,000 was already counted in the registration category. So now we're over $100,000 in bucks. That's a dramatic example, not a real life example, right? But there were many instances that we did that nonprofit, non-revenue driving programs where we're double counting income. And it doesn't seem to be malicious. It's just, we said, oh, we're going to take $1 from this and we're going to put it here. And we just very simply add that number into the income side. And now we've double counted income. So that's why you're seeing $500,000 go away from the membership line item, is because we were counting income twice in a lot of scenarios. Tournament income is below budget, and that's because we saw FSPL and National League decrease. Commissioner's Cup held a lot of that variance. We went lower in the age groups, and that helped us stay more viable in that category. Otherwise, we would have seen a big drop there. And then we did have, other income significantly increased because there was background check revenue that was misforecast. We had said we're going to bring in $200,000 worth of background check revenue. I think when it was all said and done, it was somewhere around $600,000. There's a correlating expense, so it's a wash anyway, but that's why that category is really up. Sponsorship is up 20%. That I think will continue to grow as we see partnerships throughout the rest of the year. Questions on the revenue side? Okay, expense side. You'll notice this in the admin category, staff salaries are higher than what they were on the previous budget. You'll see that variance is there. What I would say is because we're now in a PEO model, it's one line item that accounts for compensation, benefits, taxes that are being withheld from paychecks. So the best way to look at that is look at taxes, benefits, and salaries together and evaluate them, because once we transition to Insperity and the PEO model in October, that's when we stopped categorizing, at the direction of our accountants, by the way, stopped categorizing that line item in benefits and salaries. So if you look at all those three categories and line items together, you'll see that we're actually projected to be $150,000 under budget, and that's largely due to consolidation, role restructuring, overtime controls, all the stuff that you would expect in staffing. Background check expenses obviously went up because we misforecasted there. There's a relating revenue expense, so it's not a problem, but you'll see that that's originally understated and increased a lot. Dues and affiliation expenses are obviously lower because we have less players, right? Professional fees were higher. We have the lobbying services, some consultant work, legal work that just wasn't budgeted for. Easy enough to bring those back up, and I believe that they're now reflective of where we should be. Travel expenses were obviously down. Coaching education, when we have less courses, you're going to have less travel. ODP, same thing, right? There's elimination of some certain camps that they have in the summer, the domestic events that just weren't financially sustainable, or there wasn't a contract agreed to or signed to yet. So we did evaluate that just to make sure that those programs didn't lose even more. And then there's the modest marketing allocation that you'll see for $15,000 that we put in January that's in there now to support contract-based work. Becky, keep going here. Generally, expenses flat, things moved around a lot, and that's at the high level, right? This was a lot of work to basically see our bottom line move $80,000 to have an $11,000 surplus projected overall. This was a lot about structure and making sure we're classifying things in the right way. Generally, responsible expense management, staffing efficiencies, program restructuring are contributing to a lot of these things. But I'd also highlight that we kept college showcases, World Cup festivals, expanded our marketing efforts, right? We did reinvest back into our programs, and we're still coming out positive. So, I think that's just a testament to the way that we've been able to find efficiencies in all these programs and make some key decisions to help us on the budgeting side. We are going to take a deeper look at the admin class, just because that's where a lot of our overruns exist. We have capital expenditures year over year that we continue to get hit with because the building has a leak or needs a new HVAC, and that contributes to a lot, like I said, legal expenses and otherwise. So it doesn't impact us financially because we have such a high investment income return, but we should still be very responsible with fiscally and make sure that we have an operating budget that's not losing year over year, and that we're doing our best to maintain those expenses either neutral or slightly, with slight variance to our budget. Questions on this one?
I don't have a question. I just want to say thank you for taking the time to do it.
Sure.
It's appreciated, at least on my part.
Thank you. I would ask that it's at least call it reaffirmed via motion. That way we're not using the old budget as our starting point. This helps us. That would be
motion to reaffirm the
second,
whatever the budget restructure or whatever you call it.
We got a motion. I have no idea who. It's either Mike Hyatt or Tom Tianich made the second.
I think it was
I
Tom.
second. Tom second.
Tom Tianich second. The floor is now open for discussion. Okay. Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you, Brian.
Tryout date. So the tryout rule I put in there, paraphrased the top part, and the bottom part was essentially copied right from the rules. So the proposal, especially given that this was supposed to be done for the March meeting, I take accountability on that. Going through this the first time, I was notified a few weeks ago and said, whoops. We also had not had a meeting scheduled until now, so that falls partly on me and will be better moving forward next year. That said, the recommendation, just given the way that the rule is written, is that you set a statewide tryout date of the 1st, and the regions can obviously meet and discuss whether or not they'd like a different date between then and I believe it's the Monday or Tuesday after Memorial Day. It's the 26th, that date that's listed there.
Motion to approve the tryout date as written in the proposal.
Okay, we have a
I have
motion.
I have a motion. I have a motion to amend.
Okay, let's go with the motion to amend.
It's very simple. It is really
Perfect.
just to say that start of the tryout, not tryout date, because the way I'm reading it, one could say that it can't start until the 1st, and it can go past 26th of May, which is not really what it is. So the start date, I just want to add word start somewhere. I don't know where.
Where's that gonna plug in?
Where.
Where's that gonna plug in, Tom? Sorry, I'm just reading it here.
Set the statewide tryout start date as of May 1st. Whatever.
Okay, yeah, right, so we're just, okay. And I believe you made the motion, Marino made a second. Do we have any discussion surrounding add the word start? Okay, hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, Marino, I believe you were in motion of making a motion, and I
Yes.
will entertain your motion when you make it.
Make a motion to the tryout date as amended.
Okay, do we have a second?
I second that.
Tom Tianich seconds. Do we have any discussion?
I have a question.
Olaf, you're recognized for a question.
Why is the end date set for May 26th?
Believe it's
It's not.
prescribed in the rule for the
Oh.
Monday or Tuesday after Memorial Day. I think it's
Is
the
there a reason?
Tuesday. That's what the rule says.
It's a Tuesday after Memorial Day, because Memorial Day is usually that Monday, so it's like the next day.
So the day that used to be the beginning for the tryouts is now the end date. And then we're wondering that we have tryout seasons. But I'm just trying to wrap my head around if there's an end date set, that means if a club has a contact with a player on May 27th, it could be deemed illegal.
This is about the start. The start.
Although that's why I amended it to say start of the trial.
Oh,
There's no
got you,
end.
got you, got
There's
you,
no
got you,
end
got
to
you,
the
got you.
trial,
Ah,
because
okay,
that's
no,
why
no.
that's how I read it as well.
Yeah.
Clearly,
Yeah.
Okay, my bad.
Now you're good, Olaf. Thank you, and thank you, Marino and Tom. Justin Goldman, you're recognized.
Yeah, wasn't there discussions about trying to make the tryout season longer because we're competing with other sanctions and they could just flip over to another affiliation to be able to get around the tryout rule? Like, why not just make it a bigger window and let the regions decide what they want to do?
I have an answer.
Olaf, you're recognized for the answer.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't raise my hand.
No, you're fine.
I think the tryouts should be taking place after the season because the clubs commit to a full season for the players that they have registered. That doesn't just include the players that potentially make a move somewhere else, but it also bears a responsibility towards the players that are intending to finish the season and to run an entire season. For us to move it earlier would just kind of like bend over to something that maybe two organizations do right now, which is I think MLS Next and ECNL. Well, oh no, although ECNL actually doesn't because US Club is May 1st as well.
Thank you, Olaf. Debbie, you're recognized.
I have a question when it comes to the regions deciding. Just because can we set a required date that happens as well? Because technically the way that this rule reads, tryouts can start May 1st, but the region doesn't have to decide until when that tryouts can start if the regions have a say.
Debbie, in fact, my answer to that, I don't know.
Yeah.
unless
go
I'm
ahead,
wrong.
Marino.
We'll have a Zoom meeting next week, very soon, on Zoom. Up to, if the region wants to start it later than May 1st, that's up to the region. But what the rule says, you cannot start before May 1st. That's the only difference.
I think what Debbie meant is when does that have to be decided, right, Debbie? Is that what you?
Right, because
Yeah, so I
it was
agree.
already
Maybe
supposed, right, it was supposed to be decided by March 1st and put out by FYSA. That hasn't happened. Now we're, March 26th. So when do the regions have to decide by? Because by this logic, regions could wait until April 30th and say, okay, now we're going to hold a vote on April 30th. So clubs don't have the ability to plan in advance for their tryout season. And then you're going to have clubs doing what they shouldn't be doing, holding tryouts not according to their region.
I can only speak for Region A. We didn't have to vote because we never took this vote here as a board
In January.
in March, in January, whenever it was that was supposed to be. So last year we did, and we had the meeting a couple of days, 2 or 3 days after this board
date was
decided
announced.
on the May 1st. Yeah.
Right. I'm just wondering if we can add some language in here that's a deadline for the regions to decide as well.
the regions have 3 days or after the board meeting.
Right, right. 3 days after FYSA has released that, regions have to hold a vote or something like that. Because otherwise, like I said, for planning purposes and for transparency purposes, then regions could wait till,
Okay.
Debbie, I'll amend, Debbie,
Yeah.
I have no problem amending the for 3.2 in August to have some kind of urgency to it. I think this is the first year we actually missed the deadline of March 1st. So it's kind of like, I guess, two wrongs don't make it right, I guess. But I have no problem amending for 3.2 to actually say regions have to meet quickly within a week or whatever, or whatever.
Okay, yeah, that works. Thank you, Tom.
Justin Goldman, you're recognized.
Yeah, so I don't know, just the optics of this is why are the regions making the decision of when their tryouts are? And why don't we just make it a statewide of May 1st and they have full range till our end date?
I think that's the way the rule's written. And I don't know that for better or for worse, this discussion is not about the change in the rule. I do hear you though.
But we're letting regions decide when they have tryouts. It's like, who's the best person to make that decision? Isn't it the club?
Well, it's the clubs within the region, right? So if Region C might have much more pressure from US Club and they might need to do it on May 1st, and Region A might be perfectly fine letting kids play the rest of the May, which they're already paying for. So,
Dave DiTilio, I saw your hand come up. You're recognized, and then I'll go to Ed Kinsey.
All right, thank you. Ryan, are you going to send out an email to all the clubs for FYSA to tell them when this is going to start?
Yes. To Debbie's point, if there's even if it's not a vote on a motion for a date that the regions decide, if there's a general timeline you guys are comfortable with, just so we can communicate that directly, that'd be awesome. So if you guys are committed to within the next week, by next Friday, make that decision for the regions, that would help us tremendously in communicating it to clubs.
Okay, thank you.
Are you
Ed
guys,
Kinsey,
if-
you're recognized.
If you don't mind me
Ryan, go
asking,
ahead.
is
Yeah,
next Friday a reasonable date? Are we okay to just do a straw poll on that?
yes, for Region A.
Thank you, Marino.
Thank you.
Yes, for Region C.
Thank you.
Region D and Region B, would you chime in, please?
Come on, Melissa.
I mean, I really have no stake in it one way or the other.
Okay. Justin Lauer, Monsef, Hugo, anybody from Region B want to chime in here?
Region B is good with the prior. Yeah.
Thank you, Monsef.
Yeah,
Okay.
so by next Friday, the regions will have decided whether they're keeping the May 1st date or some other date between May 26th.
Yep.
Thank you.
Perfect. Ed Kinsey, you're recognized.
Hey, Dara, educate me. Why do we have an end date of May 26th altogether? What's the reasoning behind this?
I wasn't the only one.
I believe Ryan spoke to that. Ryan, if you don't mind
in the rule.
educating.
This
Ed.
is the date, yeah. This is the date that tryouts can start in each region. So, for example, Region C can't decide to start tryouts on May 27th. You have to pick a start date between the 1st and the 26th. Not that tryouts have to be over by May 26th.
So maybe we should reiterate that in that line.
It is
Statewide
there's an
tryout
amendment
date
that's
shall
going in
be.
there.
Yeah, you know, it's just confusing.
It is already there. Tom made the amendment.
Yeah, Tom made the amendment at the beginning. Ed.
I slept on it.
But no, he wrote the start date. He wrote the statewide tryout start date shall be, but on the second
later
line, the
than.
second bullet point, it said the statewide tryout date shall be no later than March.
It
May
should also be
26th.
start. It should be start on both of those lines as well as on the proposal line. So
That's
so when
how
you
I thought the
Ryan,
amendment
when you
to
change
read.
it, you can have 3 starts. You can
Easy.
have start,
I-
and start.
I
That
will
That's how I thought
that
we were
cures
make
voting.
that.
the communication crystal clear. Got it.
That fixes that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ed. Mike Hyatt, you're recognized.
Yeah,
And then I
I
come to
just,
Tianich.
the differences on the date, I think you guys just cleared it up. I mean, if you have a club that has a tryout on May 1st, and then a club next to them has one on May 20th, then you've got then you got the possibilities of having to oh shoot, the poaching end of it that might come up. So that's all I had on that.
Thank you. Tom Tianich, you're recognized.
Yeah, so I just wanted to clarify on Ed, kind of a mid-sentence what he was asking. The tryout date is much less about tryouts than it is about the date after which coaches can feel comfortable they're not going to be charged with poaching if they host open, publicly advertised tryouts. And the reason why we have the end in the rules is because we wouldn't want any region to say, well, we'll never make our tryouts until July, because now suddenly everybody in that region could be, charging people with poaching charges all the way into July. So the date was always there, and it was always the second Tuesday or the Tuesday after Memorial Day. But I don't know if your confusion was with whatever we already talked about or anything. So that is just, you have to have tryouts in the month of May within those 4 weeks.
Thanks for clearing up my.
Start them within those 4 weeks, not have
So,
to start.
Dara, may I? Dara?
Yeah, Ed, you're recognized.
Maybe we should add in there, shall advertise no later than May 26th. If we can have them afterwards, this is telling me that I have to have these tryouts during this time period, and that's not the case. So, do you understand what I'm saying, Dara? Add in
I do.
there
Nobody
that
has
we
those
must-
tryouts.
We must
I can't change
advertise.
anything, Ed. All I do is facilitate.
Right. Anybody else?
We're
Tom,
using the
you see?
name, the word start. I think everybody will figure that
Yeah,
out.
so I think Tom made
I'll
an
improve
amendment.
sorry, Eric. I'll improve the communication that goes out to clubs so this is crystal clear. Thanks, Eric. Sorry, I cut you
Just
off.
pepper start all over it. I think you can use 7 starts and you'll be fine.
Eric, did you have a comment?
Set
I'm
up and
sorry.
start.
No, that was just to use a lot of starts in here. Yeah.
But Ed said something that we don't have in our rules. We might want to consider having a date before people cannot start advertising tryouts, which would probably help a lot of kids, because right now all we are getting is ads, and ads. But that's
Yep.
not in our rules.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Russell,
question.
Russell, you're recognized.
Yeah, it's just a wording maybe to put something in there to let clubs know that just because they're having a tryout, that's not releasing the player. Because I've been fielding questions about that from several clubs. Does that mean they can take my player when I still got maybe games coming up? And I'm like, no, they're not released until July 31st. So maybe we can add something in there to let them know.
That's in the rules.
Okay.
already.
That's already in the
It may
rules.
be
include
in the
best-
rules. Yeah, it's in the rules, but nobody ever reads it.
Oh,
I'll include best practices and poaching reminders in that same email because I think this is a
Bullets,
good time of
bullets,
year to do
D, E, and F.
Right. Thank you, Russell. Ryan, thank you. Do we have any further discussion, or are we happy to move to vote?
Sean called the question already.
Sean Acosta called the question. Okay. Do we have a second on calling the question?
Me,
I
Marino.
second.
Yeah.
Okay, Marino seconded. Okay, all in favor of calling the question, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, perfect. Thank you very much, everybody.
On the proposal now, on the amended motion.
Yes, correct. All in favor of the amended document there, signify by saying aye.
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 Yeah, Dara, don't drink and drive. Okay.
I haven't had a drink in 2 years, Marino. And Ireland just lost the penalties to Czech Republic, so I'm doing okay. I'm holding on tight. But any opposed?
No.
Okay,
Hey,
motion
Sean,
passes.
I mean, Ryan, when you send out an email, send one to Region A. We're having the meeting on Tuesday at 7 o'clock.
Thank you.
Becky, Messina, what do you got for us?
That Wednesday's April Fool's Day. I don't know if anybody wants to have it on that day.
Becky's going to pull up the agenda. We're going now to the rescission of the October action. As a reminder, it lacked prior notice. It needs 2/3. Obviously, a motion, second, debate, and 2/3 to do this.
Tom, you want to talk about it? The motion was already done, so.
The motion was to add it to the agenda.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Correct. We're now at that agenda item, and we need a motion to actually do what you wanted.
Do we have it on, or was Becky able to type that up, or?
She's working on it as we speak.
Oh, she is. Okay, right. Mr. Tanich, you're recognized because you were the maker of the motion last night. So you'd like to.
Well, I made the motion to put it in
the.
I'm making the motion to rescind the vote that we had at the board of directors meeting in October about the playoff rule.
Okay. Do we have a second?
I second.
Monsef seconds. Okay. I'm going to open the floor for discussion.
I mean, we really got hung up on the, technicalities. We are getting a lot of pressure from kids with this playing up rule. I got 3 emails today. I have nothing to talk about rescinding the motion. Let's vote on rescinding the motion, and then it passes or not, I can talk about the actual playing up rule. I don't think we are currently talking about playing up rule, correct?
No. That is correct. We're rescinding the motion, or rescinding what we did in the meeting. Mr. Heidel, you're recognized.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm not in favor of rescinding this, right? It was not a very close vote. It was 11-5. It wasn't an 8-9 or something like that. The membership voted on this. They spoke already. We shouldn't be going against what they specifically wanted, even if we think it was not the best thing to do. Every time we do that, they get very angry because we think we're smarter than they are. And also, if we are going to start rescinding motions, I have a few for the next board meeting, and we're going to start to waste a lot of time. So I think we should not have a second bite at the apple. That's why this is not just a procedural thing. The motion to rescind makes it a 2/3 vote so that we don't waste our time continually revisiting these things. So it's not just some procedure. It actually is intended to make it a higher burden so that we don't continuously revisit things, right? So the 2/3, I think, is very important there. And also, this will bring no clarity to anybody, because when the board amends a rule, and that's essentially what we're doing here, right? If we rescind this and then the subsequent motion passes, we're amending a rule that was amended at the AGM. That has to be ratified by the membership at the next AGM. So there's still a very good chance, a coin flip at best, that everyone will be thrown into disarray at the last moment yet again. This will not fully settle it, even if everyone gets what they want and it changes.
Thank you, Eric. Olaf, you're recognized.
Yeah, so while I agree with Eric in the sense of that we can't come back and amend or change or revisit certain decisions that have been made, in this particular case, there's a little bit more to it. The initial change was made at the AGM. It wasn't communicated clearly at the AGM, which I know what Eric is going to say. This is the responsibility of everybody that looks at it and then ultimately votes on things, to go in and to be aware of what was proposed there. Now, when the change was made at the AGM, which was actually, it came out of the office at the time, shortly after the office realized that there was the consequence that it carried, because we had a 2-year playing up before, that it would influence the ability for certain age groups to play up for 2 years, right? So when the proposal was made in October by Kai, it was not necessarily based on us looking at it to say we have to have 6 years playing with 8 years or 9 years or whatever it is. It's just what the market dictates, certain decisions that we make. If we always want to fall back on what's best for the kids, then I can tell you we've gotten it wrong for the last 20 years. So right now we are struggling in various age groups because of the ruling that was made at the AGM, then that was upheld in the October meeting, or it was basically the motion that was never really presented properly by whoever wrote it, in this Kai, or in his behalf. It was there was immediately a motion on the floor to deny the motion, and it carried, unfortunately, without proper knowledge of the people that voted. And that's not an assumption, that's actually a fact, because I've had several conversations, some other people had several conversations, that the October vote, there were people that made a decision that immediately afterwards actually regretted that they had voted, because they didn't fully understand what they were voting for or what they were voting against. So therefore, I think it is important for us to look at it. I can understand. I saw Justin's email there about why do kids have to play at certain age. Why is it our job to actually police this? Isn't that also a responsibility of the clubs, B, a responsibility of the parents, and C, a responsibility of the competitions that they participate in? It's not necessarily our job to dictate this is what's going to happen, especially if it puts our affiliates in difficulties compared to other associations that do allow it. There is safe stops in there, even in the proposed rule that Tom has, where the parents can say, no, we don't want it, it's not safe, where the club can say, no, we don't. It's nothing says that kids have to play. It just gives an opportunity. I have firsthand experience with this at the moment, where I lost a kid, a girl, who is a January 2nd or 3rd birthday, who was the best player. She's a U7, was the best player on my U9 team. We couldn't do it, and she had to go somewhere else. Couldn't play with her, is not able to play with her friends, had to move somewhere else in order to play. So I would really caution everybody to really make sure that you understand why we're doing this and what it is that we're doing.
Mike Schroeder.
Hi, Olaf stole my thunder there, but just a quick point. So I believe it was Marino's last year as president, and the kicker from the Buccaneers at the time, Martin Gramatica, came in, and the membership voted on this particular rule specifically. And if my memory serves me correctly, it was pretty substantial in favor of having the 2 years. This past AGM, it was slid in an all or none package. There was a ton of stuff in there, and a lot of people overlooked it. So to say that this was voted on by the membership is correct, but in an all or none package. It was voted on as an individual standalone rule about, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago, right? And it passed overwhelmingly. So if we're going to look at what the membership wanted specifically at that time on this specific item, it was passed overwhelmingly. And now being put into an all or none package isn't necessarily a line item vote on that. So it's kind of misdirection. I'm sorry, Eric. It's not an exact analog of what the membership actually wants on this specific item.
Thank you, Mike. Tom Tianich,
Yeah.
you're recognized.
Quickly, since I was specifically named, can I respond to that?
Yes, Eric, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think it's a misdirection. I was not eligible to vote at that AGM and was not a part of this board. So, I had nothing to do with it and couldn't even cast a vote. There were several things at that AGM that were specifically pulled out of more general catch-all votes, and this was not one of them. So folks were very well aware of the ability to pull them out and have individual votes.
I apologize. Misdirection is, for lack of a better term. I wasn't accusing you of misdirection specifically.
No, I know, but I don't think, even though it wasn't me, I don't think anybody misdirected. I think people might have had fatigue, but that's apathy and fatigue are very different than not understanding the process, in my opinion.
And indifference.
Thank you, Eric, and thank you, Mike Schroeder. Tom Tianich, you're recognized.
I would love to. I mean, I do not want to argue with Eric or anybody else for that matter. So I personally do not believe this requires rescission, but because of the fact that we were told by a parliamentarian that it does, that's why I would love this to be rescinded. But in reality, we have two motions, one after another. If we rescind this by 2/3 of the vote, which I hope we have, based on some of the conversations we had, we could certainly revote on Kai's motion. But the actual proposal that was submitted to everybody yesterday came from 7 leagues getting together, working together, writing it up together, maybe even better than Kai's original proposal. The reason why I don't believe this actually needs to be rescinded, but I hope we do so that we just don't have to fight over it, is because this was never brought up to vote. Kai sent in a rule change as requested by, I believe, President and Ryan at that time, to fix something that was really brought at AGM accidentally. We were told U8s will be able to play competitively so that they don't have to pretend to be U9s. That was the only thing that was in everybody's understanding what that particular rule change was. Then when we realized what we really did, and we can all take a blame, I'll take a blame, everybody takes a blame, it's not a problem. Kai was asked, can you please fix this for us so it can be permanently fixed and not just temporarily? So when he submitted the rule change for October meeting, we didn't vote on it. We didn't even discuss it properly. From your minutes, it says it was moved to reject the request to reconsider playing up for U6s and U7s. I don't know if U6, U7 is accurate, but it doesn't really matter. So we really never got to look at Kai's motion, Kai's rule change. We didn't really vote on it. Kai did not get a chance to present it. I know Mike wanted to present it. We just didn't bring it up for vote at all, which is why I don't think it needs to be rescinded. But since we are told it does, please let's vote on rescinding it. And if he wins, I guess we'll have to decide whether we entertain Kai's original or the one that, and I know it's called Tom, but really that the Sunshine Leagues and the 7 leagues submitted yesterday, which kind of accomplished the same thing, but hopefully one better than the other.
Thank you, Tom. Justin Goldman, you're recognized.
Just real quick, just because you're rescinding what was Kai's, it doesn't mean you have to then re-vote on Kai's. You can make whatever, it can be what you presented, no problem. Just as a point of clarification.
Thank you, Eric. Justin Goldman, you're recognized.
Hey, so, I mean, I'm all in favor of trying to get kids to play soccer. I think to Olaf's point, we're doing a disjustice to let younger kids play up out of their 4v4 and play in a 7v7. We shouldn't be bending a wide landscape. It should be by exception. We should go by an exception process with those specialty athletes and a write-up and have us make that approval. Outside of how we feel about that, why are we bringing this up now when we're mid-season to change a rule that may get voted down and changed back at the AGM? I think this should be brought to the AGM to be voted on, not us here as a board right now in end of March.
Okay. Any other discussion? Olaf, you're recognized. Olaf, you're muted.
I apologize.
You're fine.
Just to Justin, to your point there, the reason why this comes up now is the leagues have to determine now of what the season looks like next season. Okay. And if we're waiting until August again, then we're in the same situation that we were last year, because last year the leagues made a decision of who could play in what age group. Then we as FYSA presented something at the AGM that changed it. that threw everybody for a loop and caused a lot of trouble for the leagues. That's why this thing came up. The reason why Kai brought that up was because in the spring, when they plan for the following season, they go by whatever the rules are. Then we go in August and we change something without clearly communicating it. And now it affects everybody. It's a bigger point, obviously, when we talk about the AGM and when it takes place and so forth. But that's the reason why this came up. And again, I want to reiterate what Tom just said there. This is not a solo by anyone or whatnot. This is literally, we meet with the leagues every single week. And this is consolidated, and those are the leagues that we have. I mean, this is basically the membership that we still have. Thank you.
Thank you, Debbie. You're recognized.
I just want to know if we can call to the 2/3, because we're going to end up having a discussion about whether or not to do this anyway. So can we just vote if we can even get the 2/3?
Debbie, it sounds like you want to
Second.
call the question. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, Debbie
Second.
called the question. Do we have a second? It
Second,
sounds like
Marino.
Marino second. All in favor of calling the question, signify by
Aye.
saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the motion passes to call the question. All in favor of rescinding action of the board meeting, the October meeting, signify by saying aye.
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 And opposed.
Nay.
The fact that, Eric, just for clarification, the fact that this needs 2/3, should we move to a roll call just so we have it and we know the math is right?
I would have probably said that, but it sounds like just Justin Goldman and I were in the nay. I guess maybe just we could do it as, were there any other nays that we need to count? Because if it's just the two, I think that's pretty clear.
Okay.
For clarification, do we have the same amount of votes as we had last time to rescind it?
I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. We need 2/3 of today.
Yeah.
Two votes
Okay.
today.
So the motion to rescind passes. So now that brings us up to the playing up rule as proposed.
Becky, you want to drop that on the screen? I think I sent you that email.
So hang on, just for a point of clarity, we had 16 people vote last time on this, and now we can change how many people vote, and that could change the direction of this once again.
Yes.
How does that make sense?
Well, because everybody was invited to today's meeting for the ones that didn't show up.
Right, but now you're asking to rescind their votes, so their vote basically didn't matter in October. I'm having a hard time understanding that.
Well, so Justin, I think there were more than 16 people present. There are people that chose not to vote yay or nay at the October board meeting. So while the vote looks like 16, there were more people present at the time, and they did choose to vote by not voting.
And how many do we have on today's call?
I think we have
There's 24 people on the call.
Well, that doesn't mean that's 24 voting people.
So we had 18 voting, right? There was no tie, so Dara didn't vote.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. So moving on, I believe Becky, can everybody see the screen? Becky has the.
Becky, just scroll down to the bottom of that email there.
Becky, can you make that writing bigger? Expand your screen. Expand that section by reducing the others.
I don't know. It's really hard, Ed.
Do you want me to present it?
No.
I got it.
No, we got.
I'll work on it. If somebody wants to make a motion while I pull it up, go for it.
Motion to approve 210.2 as presented by Tom.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Debbie Ruiz. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to open the floor for discussion. I see Mike Hyatt's hand is up. Mike Hyatt, do you have a comment on the proposal?
Yes.
Okay, you're recognized.
Why do we even have to have a playing up rule per se? Because shouldn't that be, in my opinion, it should be the director of player development for each club, because they know the team, they know the player, and should be able to make that determination whether somebody plays up or not. For us to say, to make a rule like this, whether you can play up 2 years or not, we don't know any of the people, but I think that should be more of a club thing.
Thank you, Mike. Alice, I see your hand is up. You're recognized.
To answer Mike's question, Mike, you have to have it in the roster rules. You just can't say this person play up, because there's a set of rules that say who you can and cannot add to the roster. So we have to have this rule to make sure that that person they want to have play up, be able to play up when they go into roster. So we have what we call a roster rule behind the scene for all the rosters that would not allow somebody to pay up 3 years or 5 years. So we write the rule in there to make sure that everybody's legal what we have agreed on.
Thank you, Alice.
Okay.
Do we have, I don't see any other hands up. Do we have any other discussion?
I had my hand up.
Mike Schroeder, I apologize. You're recognized.
That's fine. I had it up and then I took it down real quick to put it back up. You probably know.
Okay.
Is this the one that was issued by the leagues? Okay, so
Yes.
Mike Hyatt, I just want to let you know that there is a mechanism in there for the directors of coaching to decide. There's the parents can say no, we're not playing up 2 years. The director of coaching can say no, you're not playing up 2 years, and also the league can say no, you're not playing up 2 years. So there are mechanisms in here for kids that shouldn't be playing up 2 years, as per the adults that are responsible for them.
Okay, cool.
So, okay.
Thank you, Mike Schroeder. Any other discussion?
Call the vote.
Okay. Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying all in favor of 210.2 as written on your screen, signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed?
Nay.
Nay.
Okay, so I have 2 opposed. Okay, motion carries.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you. I believe we're on to
Make a
new
motion to
affiliations.
approve all 14 affiliations.
I don't even see them on there, Eric.
We'll get there. We're working on it. Give us a second.
Eric,
Is there
are you on a screen that I'm not?
I just don't want to go one by one, so I want to
listen,
make the catch-all motion.
I
second that. I second
so
that.
we have a motion to approve all 14 affiliations by Eric Heidel.
Nope.
Seconded by
Monsef.
Monsef. Okay, I'm gonna open the floor for discussion.
No,
Yeah.
Region A, we real quick. We already did our homework. We're gonna go one right after the other one.
Okay, any other
Because
discussion?
there's 2 of them that we can approve.
Any other discussion?
Yeah,
Would you
'cause
make a
I'm-
motion to just pull those 2 out?
Well,
Just 2.
raise my hand.
Hold on. I'm trying to open the spreadsheet that we did. Hold on.
Yeah,
Okay,
maybe
Mike-
if there's questionable ones,
Hyatt,
they get
you're
pulled
recognized.
out, the rest stay in.
Okay,
you,
if you want me to make a motion to, hold on.
Amend the
Let me just
motion.
open the main sheet. Hold on.
Listen, if we go down this road because we don't want to do the work and we just want to wave everybody through, then why do we have anything that is required? Why
No,
don't we
it's not
just
about
have
not
people?
wanting to do the work. It's about having prepared, already read them, and having no objection. So there's no need to go one by one.
Oh, well, but there might be other people that do.
So if there are objections, then we should amend and remove those or vote
Okay,
down my
then-
motion. But it
Yeah,
has
agreed.
nothing to do with not wanting to do the work. It
Okay,
actually
for
means I did
Region
all
A.
the work ahead of time and read everything.
For Region A, I would like to remove from your motion, Florida Royal, Prestige Academy, We Make Footballers, and South Florida Soccer League.
We have 3.
4.
Do we have a second on Marino's amendment?
Second.
Seconded by Tom Tianich. Any discussion?
So just quickly, it was Royal,
Eric.
Prestige, and what was the?
We Make Footballers and South Florida Soccer League.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, any other discussion?
Yes,
Who is that? Ed, go ahead, Ed.
we have,
That's a
for
different
golf-
region.
for-
There's a motion
Yeah,
for Region A only.
no, okay, I'm sorry. We have some for Region C.
Well,
I
we
just
can do-
withdraw
we can
my
combine
original
it.
motion.
Okay,
just
let's
move on.
go.
Okay, Eric.
Okay,
withdraws
Region
the
A, here we go. Make a
Okay.
motion to approve FC Florida Preparatory Academy. They got everything turned in.
Do we have a motion? Do we have a second?
Second.
Well, can I amend your motion, Marino, to say to approve FC Florida, Miami Sharkies, Soccer Stars, and Wildebart Soccer Academy, so we can get 4
Fine.
knocked out at once
Great.
Okay.
to help Eric out?
We have,
So
we have an
second.
amendment,
Second,
and
yeah.
seconded by Marino. Any discussion?
I hope
Okay,
not.
hearing none, all in favor of the names that Tom Tianich spat out, signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed?
Abstain.
Okay, Olaf abstains. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm
Marino, the
abstaining
mic
as
is,
well.
Justin abstains. Marino, Olaf
Make a
and-
motion
and
to
Justin.
deny Florida Royal because basically they don't have a field. They just have a rental receipt for 1A and they don't have a D license, so it's incomplete. It shouldn't be presented.
Okay, we have a motion to deny. Do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Debbie. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of denying Florida Royal LLC signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, motion carries. Marino,
Sorry,
your
I just trying to go
microphone.
fast. Yeah. Motion to deny Prestige Academy Deportivo Miami. Again, no field, no rentals on the Reagan, no board of directors, risk management, no D license. It's incomplete. Motion to deny.
Okay, we have a motion to deny. Do
Second.
we have a second? Seconded by Debbie. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of denial of Prestige, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions?
The next
Motion
one.
carries.
The reason why I pulled this one, I want a motion to approve. We Make Footballers with the caveat that they need to rewrite their bylaws because their bylaws are completely different fiscal year than the soccer season.
They have a fiscal year that's not actually a year. I don't.
Right.
I consulted IRS rules, and unless somebody can tell me otherwise, how can you have a 8-month fiscal year? What do you do with the other 4 months?
Okay,
Bleed
Marino or
the
Tom,
money
I'll
out?
entertain a motion with the amendment as you want it to be voted
I
on.
make a motion to approve pending that they rewrite their bylaws within the next 30 days and submit it to the office.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
I'll second it.
Seconded by Debbie. Do we have any discussion?
I do. I think
Eric, you're recognized.
You have issues with other ones, and you're not just saying that they get a chance to amend. So I think it is fundamentally unfair to allow certain to amend and others to not. I think they should just be rejected.
The reason why it's that they completed everything, they submitted everything. It was just the fiscal year and the thing. The other ones are not complete, so we shouldn't even entertain it. That's why I made them to deny it.
Yeah,
What Marino is saying, some of them submitted all the requirements, and one requirement just looks like it's possibly a typo. I'm not sure what it is. We tried to get it fixed through the office staff, but it didn't get fixed. The other ones are actually missing some of the 12 requirements.
So you did go back and ask for them to fix the year?
Yep.
Give you up to date.
We went through the staff.
Okay.
How are these getting to you guys incomplete that we're voting to deny them at a board meeting?
That's a different story, Justin. Let's not go there.
I thought that we had that in place.
We do, and we shouldn't get it, even to recognize it. But we getting it, so I need to deny it because they're incomplete.
Yeah, that's fine. I agree. That's why I abstained. I'm like, how are we voting on stuff that we're not even aware of?
Agree with you.
Any other discussion? Okay, hearing none. All in favor of was it We Make Footballers?
We Make Footballers Academy, yes.
We Make Footballers Academy with the Marino, if you don't mind, read the motion, please. Read it back.
Motion to approve pending the motion to approve We Make Footballers Academy Miami with the condition that they rewrite the bylaws or submit a new set of bylaws within 30 days to the office for approval.
Perfect. Thank you, Marino. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Any abstentions? Okay, we have one nay. Motion carries.
Motion to deny South Florida Soccer League for different reasons. One of them, that's a tournament affiliate already. There's issues with some of the members. I even called one of the board members that is listed on that list of board of directors. He told me flat out, I'm not part of it. I don't even know why my name is there. And there's other issues about timely submitting the paperwork to the office.
Okay, so we have a motion to deny. Do we
I
have a second? seconded by Tom Tianich. Do we have any discussion? Okay, hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, the motion carries.
Region A is done.
Region
Region A is
B.
done.
Hey, if I could really quick,
Mike Hyatt, you're recognized.
yeah, just really quick, gang, this is how this is supposed to work. And I applaud Marino and Justin and Dave and all of for doing this homework. Because I remember when I first started with the board, we would just willy-nilly, just to keep the meeting going, just approve anybody, no matter if they owed us money, just got out of jail or whatever the case may be. This is exactly how this should be ran. So my applause
Thank
for
you, Mike.
everybody.
Region B, anybody from Region B would like to make a motion for A1, Dr. Phillips and Palm Bay Youth?
Okay, so I'm gonna make a motion to approve A1 Performance Soccer and Dr. Phillips Soccer, those two in a motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion to approve A1 and Dr. Phillips. Do we have a second?
I second that.
Seconded by Monsef. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Justin, still your microphone on Palm Bay?
Yes, the reason why I pulled that one out there, we did have an objection from another local club, so I'll just state the facts and I'll leave that up to board recommendation. So that's why we pulled it to be different than the other ones. Another member club raised an objection that their players were getting recruited and potentially signed on by this club. The 50-player list was looked at and at least half the players were current members with the other club that made the complaint. They're all recreational players and this group's intent is to run a recreational program. So those are the facts and we're going to let the board decide this and I'm going to abstain from this vote and respect the decision of the board.
Okay, would anybody else from Region B like
I
to make a
motion
motion?
to decline them.
Okay, we have a
Second.
They're
motion to
poaching before they even
decline.
start. They're already violating our
All
rules.
right. Is there poach? This is my misunderstanding. Is there poaching for recreation players? They're
Yeah.
in-house recreation. Let me say it that way.
They're
It is-
registered with
it is traveling.
FYSA, and yes, that would, even though it's not competitive, they are registered with us for another club, and I think that just shows a bad faith in us that we allow this to happen. And yes, it could be a case for poaching, in my opinion.
So I think it could be an indicator of bad faith or whatever, right? However we may feel about it, but it is no way poaching because this entity doesn't exist and isn't a member. So it's as if someone from US Club is quote
Right.
unquote poaching these players. It's an impossibility.
Right.
Yeah, but if that's a case that anybody would just basically do all the poaching before they get approved and then card those players on a FISA later. They're asking for FISA membership, so
I
they're
don't
gonna
remember how
they're gonna
you go
card
out
those
and-
players.
I don't
I
know
would-
how any new affiliate gets players without sort of doing that.
I would just caution, there's US Soccer has a policy on accepting members and having an open membership policy. I would caution a decision based on a perceived grievance that has yet to be adjudicated or not adjudicated. Just there could be liability of a federation grievance there.
Thank you.
I
We
mean, that's
do,
a-
guys, just FYI, we do have a motion to deny and a second, and the discussion is open. Mike Sroker, you're recognized, and I'll come to Olaf. Ryan, I appreciate the insight there.
So it's a question because I cannot remember, but when we crafted the new policy for accepting new affiliates, maybe that's counter to what Ryan just said. Like you had to be operating in good faith. Was that not one of the stipulations? So one of the qualified criteria. Still.
I'm sorry, Mike, you're breaking
Does
up.
anybody look?
Mike, you broke up real bad. I heard good faith,
Oh.
and I'm sorry.
All right, I'll move on.
Okay, Olaf, you're recognized.
Yeah, I can shed a light on what he tried to say there. This is our requirement is not what you're going to have. our requirement is what you have on players. So if they list players that they don't have, then it's not accurate. So they submitted information that is false. Therefore, I mean, how do we approve someone like that already is announcing?
Yeah, it's one and done.
Yeah, how do you know it's false, right? They may have quote unquote poached those players away and are now playing them in an unaffiliated club, league, in-house rec program that they're running. I mean, that doesn't mean they were at some point.
But they're registered under one of our affiliates, no?
It doesn't matter. For instance, my son was registered for soccer. He hated it. He played 3 weekends. He was registered through the end of the season, and we didn't finish 12 weekends. So you could have that same thing here.
Yeah, but if you actually go into the other club, that's one thing.
Hang on, guys. Hang on. Let's keep it. Tom, I'll come to you. I got Mike Hyatt's hand up, and Mike Hyatt, you're recognized. I'll come to you.
Okay, yeah, Justin, you can back me up on this, but I think the real problem, especially what got under the present club's goat, is that the guy was going around during practice and their sessions under the other club, talking to players and parents about coming to his club while they were at their present club. So I think that's where the big part of the problem was.
Thank you, Mike. Tom T. Anich, and then I go to Russell and then Olaf.
I mean, I guess if we have more discussion, that's fine. I would just say call the vote because call the vote.
Okay, so you're making a motion to call the question.
Before we call the vote, there's one question. When we write this denial letter up, we're going to be saying in writing that we think you are poaching players, and they're going to have written evidence that could go against FYSA, because this information have to go back to them why they was denied. So what we are saying, we're accusing them of something we don't have facts on. Or do we have proof? You got the proof. Okay, if you got the proof.
Our Vice President of Rules, Mike Hyatt, confirmed the status of the 50 players, and over half were registered with another club. I mean, so I'm just stating the facts. You can use that as you want with your vote.
I have a motion to call the question. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Marino. All in favor of calling the question signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the motion passes. So we're back to the denial of Palm Bay Youth Soccer Incorporated. All in favor of the denial signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Any abstentions?
Yeah, Justin Lauer abstains from this vote, as stated earlier.
I'm going to abstain as well.
Okay, I think the ayes have it. So Palm Bay Youth is denied. Region C, Mr. DiTilio, you're recognized for however you want this to roll.
All right. Both side, I want to approve them, but as noted, they have 6 board members and only 2 of them did a background check. So can we say you have 30 days? If we approve you, you have 30 days to get the other 4 background checked?
You're the maker of the motion, so however you want it to read out.
I want to make it on that motion.
You want to make a motion to allow Gulfside with the that the other 4 get background check. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Do we have a second? Seconded by Marino. Do we have any discussion?
Just
I mean, I guess my own
earlier comments.
I have discussion. Why are we getting incomplete applications again?
I believe the rule states that the RVPs and the commissioners make a determination before it comes to the board. So the assumption is if it comes to the board that it's been approved by the RVPs and the regional commissioners.
Correct.
I believe that's the way the rule reads.
So for clarification from the next time we're having this meeting, if it's incomplete, I won't even bring it up. Is that what you're saying?
I think the assumption is that it's been approved at the regional level. Now, what I would say is because there's 2 months between, especially a notice period, is we should probably reach out, if we're not already, reaching out to the affiliate to correct and remedy whatever the issues are. So it seems like there's a question of whether staff is doing that or regions are doing that. I believe the way the rule's written, the assumption is the region's doing that. If you prefer the staff to do it, that's fine. We just need to have that conversation. It doesn't need to be tonight, but I just want to put all that out there to say we shouldn't let something sit for 60 days if it's as easy as changing a bylaw from 8 months to 12 months, right?
You're right.
Should be the regions.
Do we have any other discussion on the motion on the floor?
I'd like to,
Yes.
Point of order.
Ed.
I want to reiterate on this. I did file emails with the Gulf Side Club, and Jackie was CC'd on all of that, and they were informed that we needed the other officers that are on Sunbiz to do background checks also. So they are aware of it. What's the holdup? I do not know. So I'm all about giving them a little bit of time. Everything's good with them. I like where they're practicing. They have their own fields. It's basically a girls program. They've been around for a while. My daughter actually played some soccer there as an adult. So, okay. So
thank you, Ed. Tom Tian, you're recognized.
So to go back to Ryan's question, B says the completed affiliation application should be submitted to FISA state office no later than. FISA will verify, and maybe this is where you should say FISA staff. I don't think so. FISA will verify the application is complete and all necessary documentation has been included. I don't think we as regional AVPs have a way of looking up their background checks. Incomplete applications will be returned for correction and resubmission. Again, to me, in my understanding, by staff. Late applications, whether complete or incomplete, will not be accepted. Completed applications will be approved by regional ISPs and regional commissioners. So it really shouldn't come to us until it was completed, my reading of the rule. If anybody has a different reading of rule, then maybe we need to clarify it. But I don't think we have access to any of this stuff. I don't know whether they pay $2,500. I don't know if they fill out the application. It really shouldn't come to us until it's done. And to answer your question, Ryan, I don't even think it's Jackie's job to do this. If I'm going to open a business, I'm going to hire an attorney to get my 12 requirements and get it to Jackie. She shouldn't have to handhold them one at a time. I've seen some of the email threads where she's begging them for one thing at a time. And these are the people then we are later going to trust are going to do the good job of scheduling games, verifying players' birth certificates and everything else. I'm not saying she's not doing her job. I think she's going above and beyond in the customer service where these people who are starting their own business are not doing the minimum required. Hire somebody. I'm not selling my services, but hire me. I'll tell you what 12 things you're missing rather than Jackie who has her hands full.
Thank you, Tom. Any other discussion regarding Gulfside FC? Okay, hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
What did we just vote?
We voted on Gulfside. Any abstentions? Okay, the motion carries. Gulfside is admitted. Dave, still your floor. MVP and Win.
Both of these can be approved, so I make a motion to approve both.
Okay, we have a motion to approve MVP Football Club and Win Institute Incorporated. Do we have a second?
Yes, second.
Seconded by Mike Hyatt. Any discussion?
Point of order.
Ed, you're recognized for point of order.
I realize that MVP has not submitted that they have any players at all, whether affiliated with another club or another organization. So there are no players, like they're starting from scratch. If you guys want to open up that document, I don't see anything that they have submitted that, and that is a requirement.
But if they don't have any players, then they'd be poaching if they go get players.
They're also missing one requirement.
Right.
Correct. I'm sorry, but I did not catch that.
I was just saying there's a double-edged sword because if they have no players, they go get players, then you can say they poaching somebody else's players.
Hold on. MVP played in my Commissioner's Cup tournament this past week. So
Oh, under US Club.
yeah, on the US Club, so they have players.
Okay.
We just can't see it.
Okay,
So
any
We
other
can't see 'em.
discussion? Okay,
So
hearing none.
Did they
all in-
submit? Did they submit documentation that the affiliate has at least 50 players available for registration? Yes or no?
I do not see any.
Is there anybody on the Pfizer staff that can check? We don't have access. I don't have access to region B's.
Yeah.
Sorry, region C documents.
I'm working. I think the email that I sent to the board the other day are all the documents that were received, but I'm working to pull it up here. It's definitely
Wait,
going to
think
take me a minute. Apologies.
I don't think we can pull up US Club players though, can we?
I think what
Should
Tom
have
is
submitted a
saying is
spreadsheet.
they have to submit a spreadsheet as a result.
Right, right.
Sorry, give me just a moment here. MVP, right?
Yeah, I believe that's what it was. Yep.
I do not see the spreadsheet in this folder.
It's incomplete.
Do
I
you
can check
want to,
the email that
do we
was
want to
shared.
give them the opportunity to present it within a certain time frame, as we have done now with two other?
Give them 30 days as well.
It sounds like somebody's wanting to make a friendly amendment here to the motion.
But with all due
You have to
respect,
come out of
Olaf,
Regency.
I agree with you. I don't have a problem. But the other ones, they submitted, it was just incorrect.
Okay, I just found an email from Jackie on December 22nd, and they say confirmation of a minimum of 50 players available for registration.
I am seeing the list. There's a list with 50 players. It's just that well, I don't know if it's 50. It's just the first page is blank. Second page starts with Baker Maynard. 2, 4, 6, 8, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22.
Why go
24,
with Dave's
30,
recommendation?
32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42, 44, 46, 48, 49. Oh, 49 or 50. So go with it.
Any
It's
other
really tight.
discussion?
So there, we have
Any
it.
other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of Win Institute and MVP Football Club signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Associate Affiliate Recreational League, South Florida Soccer
Already,
League.
it
we
was
voted
denied.
already.
It was denied.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yep. Okay. Perfect. Becky, do you mind taking us back to?
Yeah, I believe that's it for new business. This will take us to executive session.
Okay. All right.
Have fun. Hey, Sroka, before you leave, I did run into him like 2 years ago, and he still mentioned it to me in my, about it. His son is, I think it's a kicker for FSU or one of those colleges now. He's got a great leg.
USF.
USF, is it? Yeah, one of them.
Okay. Thank you all. Give me just a second to stop the recording, pull up the next document, all that stuff.
Is everybody here that should be? And
5 minutes.
Not yet.
Yeah, give me